even like I will say things now and I will be open and honest, but I also am also attacked because I am protecting them, or I'm, you know what I mean? Or I'm like, here's the thing. I don't personally think that just because I get a divorce means I hate a person or I need to go tell all the tea or I need to say what really happened. I don't believe that. There's still some things that deserve to be kept quiet.
Meri Brown, who was once part of the polygamous family from Sister Wives, has recently been active on TikTok, joining live streams with several creators who cover the show. Some of those live sessions have also been uploaded to YouTube. In one of her recent appearances, Meri responded to questions about her life after leaving polygamy, her current relationship with her former family, and how she's handling everything now that she's no longer part of that lifestyle. During the live chat, she addressed something many fans have talked about, that she seems to still support Kody and Robyn even after all that has happened. Meri explained that she doesn't want to speak badly about people just because her marriage ended, prefers to handle things calmly and respectfully. She said she isn't interested in sharing every detail or exposing anyone, even though she could. For her, staying quiet doesn't mean she's unaware. She believes in protecting certain parts of her life from the public eye. Meri also spoke about the criticism she's faced from people who say she was unaware of the problems in her family. She made it clear that just because she didn't say anything on the show doesn't mean she didn't notice. Sometimes she found things out at the same time the viewers did when watching the episodes, but she assured everyone she was not completely in the dark. About the struggles and changes happening within the family, interestingly, Meri also showed some understanding toward Kody's behavior. She mentioned that sometimes people go through personal struggles like a midlife crisis, which can make them act out or change unexpectedly. She admitted she went through a similar period herself back in 2015, where she had to reflect on her life and decisions. Because of that experience, she said she chose to give Kody the benefit of the doubt, hoping he'd work through his own issues too. She believes in giving people time and space to sort themselves out before rushing to judgment. Meri reflected on her own journey and admitted that looking back, she now understands why people might have wanted to shake her and tell her to wake up. But at the time, she was trying to figure things out for herself. She explained that her personal values made her want to stay and try to fix things, rather than walk away when things got difficult. That's how she was raised to believe that commitments, especially spiritual ones, should be honored for life. She also commented on Kody's shift in behavior when he entered a new relationship with a younger woman. She hinted that he might have seen himself in a new light, possibly chasing a dream or image that made him feel important or youthful again. That choice led to him focusing on Robyn and drifting away from the rest of the family. As for Meri's past catfishing scandal, she described it as her own version of a midlife crisis. It happened when her child had grown up and moved out, leaving her alone and searching for meaning or change. She was in her 40s, feeling stuck, and perhaps looking for a new direction in life. Even though she had a chance to leave the marriage, back then, she chose to stay, and that decision remains part of her story that only she fully understands. The part that really makes sense to me is how hard it can be to leave a relationship even when it's clearly not working. People on the outside can usually see the problems more clearly. They may try to tell you what's wrong or encourage you to walk away. But if you're not ready or don't fully see the situation yourself, then no matter what others say, you'll stay. That's why I can understand Meri's side. She made a promise, believed it could last, and hoped things would improve. Even though it didn't turn out the way she wanted, I get why she held on as long as she did. There was also a moment when Meri seemed a little uneasy about Christine discussing her past relationship with Kody with her new partner, David. Christine has said things like, "Now that I'm in a committed relationship, I realize how different it feels compared to what I had before." She's processing her past out loud, trying to figure out what it all meant. It seems she's realizing that what she thought was a normal relationship wasn't really what a healthy one-on-one partnership feels like. Christine likes to talk through her thoughts and reflect by having conversations with others. However, Meri didn't seem to like that. She felt it sounded like Christine was comparing Kody to David. But I don't think Christine was trying to judge or compare men. It looked more like she was just learning and trying to understand her past by looking at it through a new lens. Since she had only been in a polygamous marriage before, her current relationship feels very different. She's figuring things out as she goes. Meri, on the other hand, has a different approach. She said she doesn't want to sit around criticizing Kody. Instead of saying, well, Kody used to do this, she prefers to reflect by thinking, this is what I experienced and this is what I've learned. She wants to take what happened and grow from it, not focus on negativity. She also said there have been times when she had to stop certain conversations, especially when people wanted all the details or were asking too many questions. She felt it was healthier for her to step away from that kind of talk. Meri shared something a woman once told her that really stood out. This woman had been in a plural marriage and said that if she hadn't shared a husband with her sister wife, they probably would have been close friends. But once jealousy and favoritism came into the picture, the relationship between the wives turned competitive. They weren't just wives anymore, they were rivals. That idea makes me wonder if Meri and Christine could have actually been good friends if they hadn't married the same man. Christine reminds her a lot of their mutual friend, Jen. Even though Meri says she doesn't like to compare people, she has also talked about Kody with her own friends. She may not line up Kody next to another man and point out the differences, but she still shared her experiences. She even opened up to two women who, like her, were once part of the same religious group but have since left. So while Meri handles things in her own way, she still processes and reflects just differently than Christine does. Meri had many open conversations with her friend who lives in Las Vegas. In those talks, she shared her journey of leaving polygamy and the emotional challenges she faced. This approach is quite similar to what Christine is now doing with David. Christine feels comfortable enough to talk to David about her past, especially about Kody. Since David comes from a background where his own sisters lived in polygamous marriages, he probably understands Christine's feelings on a deeper level. That makes him someone safe for her to open up to process everything she's been through, even though these conversations are sometimes shared in public. The way Christine and Meri both reflect on their experiences shows they actually have a lot in common. It's a shame they can't see how alike they are. Both women lived through similar struggles, faced emotional wounds, and were part of the same complicated family system. Christine probably faced extra difficulty as the third wife. She wasn't the legal spouse, and her children weren't considered official. Meri, as the legal wife, had to deal with the pain of her husband bringing in other women and children, while she was expected to accept it without expressing how she felt. Their pain came from different places, but it was still pain. Then maybe, if things had been different, they could have formed a real friendship. Everyone handles their past in their own way. Meri prefers not to bring up her ex in front of others, while Christine tends to talk through her emotions with people close to her. That doesn't mean Christine is trying to compare David to Kody in a negative way. She's likely just learning what a normal, loving relationship feels like. It's not unusual to reflect on the past when you're in something healthier. Many people talk to their partners about previous relationships, not to criticize, but to grow. Meri probably has the same type of emotional support with her friends now. She was raised to believe she had to be close to her sister wives, but now she may be discovering what true friendship looks like outside that system. Still, it's hard to imagine healing completely when you've seen others in your family publicly speak against you. Watching the show where your former loved ones talk badly about you makes it tough to move forward. That kind of exposure can keep old wounds open. Meri also shared that she no longer sees Robyn or her children. She used to be very close to Solomon, and she misses him a lot. There's now a clear distance between her and Robyn, Meri admitted. that she doesn't know how to navigate a friendship with her ex-husband's wife, especially with everything that's happened. She even tried to talk with Kody about having a peaceful, respectful separation, but it hasn't always been smooth. Sometimes things feel kind and respectful, and other times they don't. She talked about how difficult it would be to maintain a relationship with Robyn while Kody continues to speak badly about her. If Robyn is standing by him and not speaking up when he attacks Meri's character, it puts her in an awkward and painful position. When someone's husband keeps publicly tearing you down and their wife says, "That's their business, not mine," it creates an emotional wall. There's no sense of safety in that kind of relationship. Anything Meri might say to Robyn could easily be passed on to Kody. Meri may feel that Robyn has been manipulating her for years, encouraging her to hang on, telling her that Kody still cares, only to later defend his actions and make Meri feel like she's the problem. That kind of emotional tug-of-war is damaging. In that belief system, the man is rarely blamed. The women who leave are often painted as the villains, disobedient, dramatic, and harmful, while the man is made to seem noble or misunderstood. That's why it's understandable why Meri wouldn't want to stay close to Robyn anymore. It would be emotionally unsafe. On top of that, there might have been expectations that their sister-wife bond would be lifelong, but it turned out to be the opposite. Over time, Meri may have realized that Robyn's words to her didn't match her private actions. In her interview with Tamron Hall, Meri even admitted that her tension with Robyn was the strongest of all her conflicts in the family. Christine, on the other hand, has been very open about how she views Robyn. She calls out Robyn's behavior without hesitation, something Meri seems to hold back from doing. Maybe Meri is more guarded or still clings to some loyalty. It's hard to say. But if creating space from Robyn is what helps Meri stay emotionally healthy, then that boundary is necessary. Robyn has a way of pulling people back in, twisting the story and shifting the blame. Meri likely knows this and wants to protect herself from being manipulated again. So that's everything Meri had to say. If you're curious, you can watch the full video linked here. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think there's still hope for Meri and Christine to reconcile? Or is that door closed forever? Share your views in the comments, give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you soon, besties!